What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Appeal episode 50. Today I had squats. It's a pretty good day, honestly. I felt very locked in and like in tune with my form. I honestly feel like these might be the best squats that I've done in a while. It just felt like my bar paths was really good. My core bracing was really good. As far as feel goes, I mean they were hard. I'm not gonna lie, like they felt pretty hard, but Um, I ended up making him move pretty well. Like I had a really good squat session. Um, I think all the leg work that I've been doing has been paying off, especially like unilateral belt squat. You know, staying in my midfoot and really making sure the pressure's there. As well as like I've said before, but I have like a hard time with my rack, like putting the bar on my back and having like a nice shoulder girdle. But I've it's felt really locked in recently, like very stable. And I think one of the biggest changes that I made again was like sometimes I put my thumb over the bar instead of like fully gripping the bar, and it ends up like being bad when I do that because it like ends up cramping my left shoulder and for some reason it just feels bad. But when I put my thumb around it, I feel so much more locked in. So I've just made that change. Um and I don't know why, it feels so much better when I do it, and it just gets me a more consistent rack when I'm able to squat, as well as you know, I haven't really been able to do like a true low bar in a long time, just because I think I messed my shoulder up when I was like 19. Maybe like not messed up, but like for whatever reason, I'll pull it back and it like I don't know if it like clicks or pops or something. And when I try to do low bar, it'll just like really cramp or it'll hurt. So I have to just move the bar up a little bit more. It's not like a high bar and it's not like a low bar. It's like somewhere in the middle. And honestly, it gets me a better position than what it would be my low bar. Even though I still have quite a bit of torso lean forward when I squat, like a good amount. Um, but I definitely feel like now my squat is we're building a really something really good here, I believe. And then I did squat press. I was gonna do pendulum because I was unsure, but it actually this felt better this week than it did last week, and I felt really good in my quads. Just more mobility, I think, on this than before. Um, and like the last few days, I've kind of taken a break from doing my cardio because I was like jamming Stairmaster, jamming incline, and I could just tell like my body was tired. My knees were like my legs were heavy, and the energy was just low. And so I was like, you know what? It's not worth jamming more and more cardio if like I'm not recovering and I'm feeling bad. My training is feeling bad because like I feel that when we train, sometimes we may go overboard and we have a plan and we feel like we have to stick to the plan, but it's always about what your body can recover from. You know, the plan only works if you're recovering, and I wasn't. You know, I just feel like my body is just not recovering right now very well. You know, bad sleep, and other things, and it's like I definitely value the weight loss, but I don't I don't want to break my body down. You know, because for me, training is the most important thing. Um, Even over like weight loss, like not completely because I obviously want to get in shape again, but I'm a very training driven person. I don't come to the gym to look, you know, just look good. You know, that doesn't matter to me that much as training performance matters. Um, it's just so fun to train hard and to train heavy, and I feel like that's where there's like a disconnect between the new generation and the people that came before, like in training, like specifically after 2020, is everyone's just so physique driven and they don't really value the training and being uh present during training. They just kind of go through it and they don't really like it, or they're just trying to achieve a certain physique goal out of it. And I think that's fine, but it gets very toxic when you're only focused on the physique and that's all that matters, because it's very slow. And being very physique driven is it's a quick way to kind of burn out, because when your results start to slow to, after 3 years, 4 years, then it's like especially for natural, like you're not going to see a consistent um like vaulting progress like you were in your first 3 years, which is why I think a lot of people burn out, and why I've always also been like training driven, just because I just think it's fun to train, like, and it's something that I wasn't always into. I wasn't always active. I didn't play a lot of sports growing up. So for me, I had to really like fall in love with the training, which honestly didn't come easy at first, especially like coming back to it, because it sucks, and it's not even just like the first week sucks or the first month. It's like sometimes it'll extend beyond that, where you're not getting used to it, and especially if you're not consistent with your diet and within that training, it takes much longer to ramp up and to really be able to get into a good feel. So um it's just gonna take time, if you're somebody that's getting into it, or you're coming back to training, is that just take it slow, don't have such high expectations, because that's how it was with me as well, where it's like I was like, dude, this fucking sucks. I always thought maybe it's just not in the cards for me to like be in shape. But, I think that as what am I trying to say? I think that we should sometimes step back and look at our progress and just be grateful that we can move and be active and do something, because we go overboard sometimes, and you don't want to stress your body out more than it needs to, just to follow a certain plan and to achieve an arbitrary goal at the end of the day. Well, I guess it's not arbitrary because it does mean something to you, but I digress. I'm kind of rambling. But that's pretty much it for today. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, a comment, or a subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for back day. Thanks for watching.